Of them will be,
Sorry.
doing the same sort of steps, that each one takes. I think most of them will be implementing, such steps in their organization.
Sure.
You should ask a different set of audience.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, well, my name is Ambrish. I think it's a lot to do with the appetite of the organization in terms of the funds it has and how it wants to channelize and then prioritize whether of the various cost reduction initiatives where it wants to go. And it's a question of priority, like one of the panelists say that while delivering his services, client services, it's a A-class spend for him. So for him, it's very important that solution need to be in place. And my sense is that when one looks at, when a CFO looks at an investment, for him to commit to ROI, of that proposal and have that ability to, have a process behind and, prove to the organization that this investment is in the right direction, is a decision he needs to own up because he has multiple priorities all the times to move through. Travel is a classic example in that sense. So, and I was reading the CFO magazine and it was giving an interesting data that of the IATA travel, 4% is just lost where tracking is not done on the cancellations, no-shows. So it's just not the speed of execution when a travel requisition has to be raised to get a ticket. Approvals behind that, whether it is to be charged to the client or to be absorbed within an organization where the cost is incurred in the organization. It is also to do with making sure that, when there are situations related to travel, that you've got the right class of fares, you're actually using the power of technology and data to derive organization policies. What happens if you buy 5 days before? What happens if you buy 10 days before? And how do you sort of articulate that policy? So I think the earlier panelists were talking about the partnership between the CIO and the CFO. So I think it is a must to have to understand the technical solutions. And from my personal perspective, many a times you do not know what's a technology solution which is available, which could help work through the business, which is the right solution to go for or develop for or come up a partnership with.
So who's going to take that, Gaurav?
I'd be happy to. I think Virginie spoke about a couple of things in the previous session, which was how does technology support compliance and how does technology support real-time data? That's actually the core of what I think a lot of you are looking at.
Are you responding to the gentleman at the back, or are you taking on some fresh?
I'm just taking on relating to both the points, but actually from a technology enabling what the finance decision-making process that is planned, the overall delivery of the solution really, impacts your ability to evaluate the TCO or the ROI, and also I think probably get what is best practice today. And I think that's the big advantage that all of you have. You don't need to go through the pains of going from version 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0. You can straight jump to 3.0 because those solutions are available and can be articulated and implemented for yourselves.
Mr. Balan.
Yeah, I agree with him that, it's the information, that is generated through technology that can help us. Rather than a company investing on its own, if we can make use of agencies who have invested in that technology, and through that we are able to get information in advance. Say, for example, what will be the trend for the next 1 or 2 months, how for example, the airfares or the hotel fares are going to be, based on the bookings that is already done. We can't generate that information. If that can be, obtained through this various partnerships that we can establish with established operators, that can help us to, do our bookings also accordingly. So we can plan, and most of the, travel does not happen, like an emergency. It's all well known, at least 1 or 2 months in advance. So nothing is, decided, just off the shelf or something like that. So if we can know the trend, definitely, if we are sure that the rates are going to be better by blocking in advance, we can definitely go through. That's what we also do in most cases. Secondly, okay, you can't control situations like the current ones where suddenly, your airlines come out with rock bottom rates, You can't have the best of all worlds. But if you can have a reliable partner, with you who can advise you that these are the trends, this is what will help you. And through them, we also have a relationship with such agencies where even for overseas travel, we book the hotels and other, things
So
through
what
them.
are
Yeah.
the terms of engagement which make for a valuable partnership?
Yeah, terms of engagement is, how they can add value to us by providing the, right kind of solution, either in the form of an airfare or in the form of providing, better facilities at the place where we stay. So it's both cost and quality driven solution, that we expect.
Mr.
I
Ashar?
think it is absolutely necessary that when you ask what are the requirement, one should know what they want. That is the one thing. And when you sit with your service provider and discuss with them what exactly is required, as you said, we have been able to always work out the solution. For example, we talk about a travel policy of the company. Now, if you want to inbuild something in that, in workflow system, who is your supervisor, whom to approval should go, if he is not available, who is the next one to whom the approval should go, hotel rates he said, everything can be inbuilt in the technology provided it has been discussed upfront at the time of understanding the service provider, what they are providing on the platform. That is what is more important. And as he rightly said, in terms of hotel booking, insurance booking, many other things we can do simultaneously and we can avoid many hassles and a lot of time can be saved in that. This is what my view is.
Joydeep?
Yeah, so on adding to what Bhavin said, so I'm not a great proponent of saying that, there is a lot of technology investment required over here. Yes. There is not really much technology required over here. Because after all, if I were to if I go on a personal holiday somewhere, I go into an Indigo site or somewhere, book a ticket.
Sure.
Here I'm going into a travel management company site and booking a ticket, right? So that's probably the only difference. Now, here in a corporate world, I have a relationship with a travel management company, and therefore I am booking a ticket, right? Now, the investment over there is not too much. It's very little. And if you look at the ROI, I'll give you one simple example. So, when we talk about travel, travel not just, and I can talk about, say, in my company, for example, air travel is about, of all the travel spend, which is, let's say, approximately $50–60 million a year, air travel is about 1/3, hotel is another 1/3, and corporate apartments is another 1/3. By corporate apartments, I mean people who are going on, from our company going to the US or Europe and staying there for more than a month and things like that. So you got to look at all the components of your travel costs and try to optimize each one of them. Now, when you do it through a travel management companies, now one is take their standard, whatever they are offering. The other is, if you have sufficient scale, you can go directly over and above whatever they are offering. You can go directly and get better rates. And I'll give you a very simple example. Today, a colleague of mine who's sitting here in the audience over here, both of us came and we were checking in here at the Leela at the same time. My company used the travel management companies, the solution providers' standard rates, which was approximately about 10% or 10% discount to whatever rack rates we got. My colleague, he had a special rate from his company. The difference was, if you add up the breakfast and the Wi-Fi and all of that, the difference is about 4,000 rupees just for one night. That's the power. That's the difference.
4,000.
4,000, right? Just for one night between the two of us. Both of us, staying over here in the same kind of room.
Wow.
So you have to look at your travel spend throughout, right down to the brass tacks, right down to the bottom detail, and try to see where can you optimize. And one of the, my personal experience, if you want, so, Yogesh talked about customizing, their portals. Yes, customizing, one of the things that I like to, caution you is, yes, customizing is very good. We've done it, but the lead time takes about 6 to 8 months for customizing, to get their portal into, to comply with your company's policies. Just to give you an example, whenever somebody in my company logs into and tries to see the airfares, he doesn't see business class. You can't see it. So that's been blanked out. So that's one aspect of the policy that we've implemented, for example. So if you try to do that, it takes about 6 to 8 months. If you try to take one straight off the shelf, it's about 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 weeks, actually.
Yeah, my personal experience has been about 3
So
months.
I don't think Joydeep and I today work together, so we just need to make that context clear. I think to take on the audience question which came earlier today, this business is not just about doing a ticket, as Joydeep said. It's not about getting a hotel done. It's actually a lot about finance, enterprise level finance, enterprise level HR integrating it. Now, if you look at Yogesh's company, which probably has God knows how many thousand employees, how can you make your travel policy compliant across your enterprise? How can you ensure that it's transparently enforced, that there is no abuse of authority, that any exception is highlighted to the powers that be? Basically, a technology-led travel program delivery is frankly the only way you can do it. The gentleman also said about advanced purchase. That is your biggest leakage today, because in a legacy world where you go through a travel agency or an implant, you cannot control the request flow to that resource, and therefore you cannot control how many days in advance your employee buys a transaction, and you certainly cannot get any data which says what's the average buying trend. In a self-booking platform, that can be programmed. So anything which is under a certain date range gets flagged off as a red flag. Now you can still approve it, but it's your call. There was also this comment which Yogesh made on billable, non-billable, etc., cost center, project center. You mentioned about people having budgets. Today there are abilities by which a requisition can grow from employee to line manager. It can go from employee to project code owner. Levels can be multiple, and so you're looking at other stuff. And the final point I wanted to make is you can integrate using single sign-on solutions, HRS integration, XML to ERP integration, enhanced data on credit card, which basically make it, you're optimizing not just your travel program and the user experience, you're trying to optimize the number of finance resources who pay your bills to your travel company, or the number of HR people or administrative people who sit and police your employees to ensure that they comply with policy.
So data essentially is key, and again, the insights around.
Data and also the ability of the technology to enable decision making and enable automation, where today you deploy resources. You deploy a travel manager or administrator.
Sure.
You may be able to optimize that person better within the organization.
If I may add to what Gaurav has said, and rightly so, we are looking at this technology-enabled solution, which is the self-booking tool. And just to answer your concerns here, it's a fully integrated solution. And I agree to Joydeep, it is going to take 4 to 5 months to get custom made to our requirements, and we know what precisely we need. So what we are looking at, this solution to offer us transparency from the travel service provider about whether we are getting what we have been promised by him, about pricing, about the options, about multiple options. Thereafter, using the workflow notification to ensure the policy is compliant. If there are exceptions, those exceptions are flagged off to the right stakeholders and they are held accountable for. Thereafter, using those exceptions to strategize further as to minimize them and get the best out of this whole scheme of things. And it is fully integrated with your accounting system, starting from the requisition to the vendor payment. So I think that's the solution we're looking at. And the kind of volumes, technology-enabled self-booking tool is the only answer that we could think of, and I think we are going straight to that.
So any interventions from the room?
Yeah.
Either in terms of experience or in terms of, issues that you've had?
Yeah. So
Right
just
at
a
the back,
supplement to what you said. So I completely agree with what you say. So the context I had was, in my mind, travel as an example, one of the heads where organization spends money And if it is the highest priority for the organization to sort of look at it, it would come up with either in-house process or will buy the online tools or will have an ERP integrate to the accounting systems and so on and so forth and do the compliances. The point I was wanting to put across was that when we talk about technology solutions, as to wherever these solutions are being generated, as to how they reach the desk of CFO in terms of coming up with the value propositions. The speed of, coming across with what's the right solutions, what is it that you need to go to. Travel is a category. We do various purchasing. So nowadays, even you have e-auctions for going through some of the merchandise and stuff like that. Now the question is whether I understand and I know of from technology solutions as providers that whether those solutions are being offered to me, and am I able to put my commitment behind those solutions, saying that here is an ROI, and take that to my board and sort of go ahead with that investment? Should that be a prioritization for me?
Sure. Anybody wants to comment on that from the panel? Yogesh?
So I absolutely agree with you, and the way we had approached this, and again going back to the partnering with the right stakeholders. So CFO would not be really responsible for the service delivery, which a facility or an admin team would be from a travel management perspective will be. And to test and recommend the solution from the technology side, your technology team has to support. So the way we had gone about it, bringing all the stakeholders together, looking at the solution, putting our recommendations together, expectations together, being in the room together, going to a very detailed analysis, expectation, reviews, and then putting our thoughts together and then evaluating the various options which are available. And these products are available in the market today. So it's a normal, any product evaluation process where various stakeholders will come together and look for the best solution for the organization.
Sure. One comment from here, very briefly, we are running out of time. Any mics out? Lokesh? Naveen, this side.
I just want to. Yeah, I just want to ask a very simple question from a panel that, in India, information technology is the largest setup and travel cost is one of the biggest costs in SG&A. When was the last time any of the information technology companies, this is my entire experience with IT and ITS, they had a look at their travel cost and computed the ROI, which includes billable and non-billable travel. I'm talking about the entire IT setup, from TCS till iGate. When was the last time anybody had computed ROI and had a look at the impact on SG&A?
Any thoughts around the room? Not necessarily at the panel, right?
So if you look at it, I'll tell you from my, we are
yeah,
kind of a technology
Jolly would be
IT company also. We look at it every year. And one of the things that I did, I realized that, as a CFO, as a finance professional, you really don't have that much of in-depth knowledge. So we hired two people, one in the US and one over here, who have been in the travel business for more than 15 years, who have more than 15 years experience. And I think in my case, they're doing a splendid job. When you're talking about ROI, what I looked at was that, there is a little bit of investment that is required. And what I did was I went to American Express. For example, you can use whatever credit card you want, and you can negotiate with them to get some money back at the end of the year. And it could be something like 1% or 1.5% of your travel spends. And it seemed to me that just after about 1.5 years, my investment was completely recovered. So just from that, the amount of money that I got back from the credit card company, which I would never have got back otherwise.
Yeah, just to add to what our colleague said. See, what we have done is, as I said earlier, we don't invest in technology to minimize our cost on such overheads. What we do is to utilize the agencies that has invested in technology, for getting our best airfares. This not only gives us the best fare on, best rate on fares or accommodation, but by going through them, we are also using our corporate cards to make the payment, which means you also get an extended credit period. So that way, you are trying to get the best of, you are able to provide better service to your in-house employees, and at the same time, financially, you are getting a better benefit. Similarly, if you look at other products, say for example, insurance, we have an online tool, through the respective insurance companies, through which you can book, and this responsibility, we have given it to the administration. So while we do that, we have also tied up with them in such a way that, we give them a specific, say, man days in a year, up to which a particular rate applies. Once you go beyond that, then the rate, comes down further. So which means this is a transfer. We don't need to sit down and calculate as to how many man days of travel we have done in a particular year. So by doing this, we have in fact cut down our insurance premium cost by more than 50%. That has been a big value addition. Second is our involvement in the whole process, has been totally taken off, so that we don't need to spend our quality time on such provision. Similarly, if you have to take on, say, forex currency or travelers checks and things like that, today, this has gone out of normal practice, where we are able to provide, foreign currency cards, which can be loaded depending on the requirement of the employee. Even if he is out of the country, his trip is extended, you can load it from here. So this is the power, that we are able to enjoy, so that you don't need to block your money when he travels without knowing how many days or, what is going to be the actual cost. So a lot of such, benefits are really accruing to us. It's a question of, how we get the information and how we put it into practice and make use of it. And I have not found that to be, taking too much time to, conclude a package or an agreement to put this arrangement in force. It's not taken more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks in our case.
So,
Yeah, and sorry, one thing that I'd like to add is our linkages with security. So just to give you, I'll give you an example. A couple of days back, when the Malaysian airliner disappeared, within 30 minutes, we got an email from the security organization which had tied up with the setup over there, saying that there was no employee of my organization on that airline. So that's the power of
So there are
technology.
benefits
I could get
beyond-
that information within 30 minutes, which I would never have got otherwise.
there are benefits beyond just cost savings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I think,
we are over time.
yes,
So we'll
we're
be
running
back on
frightfully
Yeah,
over
just
time.
just 30 seconds for me to come back on that. I think the question from audience
think
was
we'll-
very valid, saying that are we getting from technology an ROI with the product? So that's the point, that when technology is coming up with the proposal,
I
is
think
not really
I'm-
coming up with that.
I'm so sorry, but I think we'll take this conversation offline at a later point in time during this evening. So right now we'll conclude this panel here. It's been, I think the general consensus around the room has been that there are savings, but there are, benefits beyond savings. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.